recognized. And then we can also get some updates from our athletics.
All right, thank you, Dr. Harris. First, I would like to
Shouldn't you go up to the,
take a moment. Do you want me to go up to here? Is that okay?
Sure.
I think the camera has a hard time seeing the corners. I may be wrong.
I know that's true.
That's how we lose.
Okay, before we get on to, I have a special guest here this evening. I want to give you a quick summary of our fall sports and some things that I think were very important that have taken place since June 22nd. On June 22nd, we got together, and before we met with the school board here, we made up an athletic committee, which was made up of Coach Ruane, Coach Dutt, Coach Christy Lynn from cheerleading, Coach Babick, and Coach Shaw, along with my athletic trainers, Jen and Lauren, Nurse Lisa Popovich, and we put together what we felt at the time was a very strong return to play plan for our student athletes. Now here we are. It made it through November, and I want to tell you there were days we came up with a daily screening plan that actually John Ruane brought to us through Google. We took that through Google. My trainers, Jen and Lauren, worked with it, and we made it individually every day since we started school and back here with sports. Every one of our student athletes from grades 7 through 12 was screened by our athletic trainers. It was a long, tough, and a daily task, but it was very beneficial at the end. We did not, run into any things where any of our teams had any issues. I'm going to admit it was a day-to-day. It's a challenge. But I'm going to tell you that the group of people, and I can't thank them enough, and I'm going to start with the board for working with us. And when we went all the way back into July and we put this plan together, I think we had a plan that everybody else sort of looked at and picked up from, and I think we did one heck of a job here with our group. So thank you to our school board, to Dr. Harris, Mr. Ingles, all my principals here at the high school, as well as the middle school principals, Jim and Roger. I'm blessed to have such a fabulous team here. When I say my team, along with Mrs. Martz, Mr. Konopka, but my two trainers, Jen and Lauren, and most definitely Nurse Popovich has just been unbelievable with all the help that she provides to our program. And Mr. Bracco and his crew, all the custodians and the maintenance guys that they've been wonderful. This every day, not only with screening our student athletes, but the fact and the cleanup and all the things that were put into place, the plans with cleaning up and everything that went on after every practice every day. It took a big team effort, and it's everybody that I mentioned, and if I forgot anybody, I apologize. But last but not least, all of my coaches, the student athletes, and their parents, because it took a whole team effort from that end, and I appreciate it very much, and I'm thankful for every one of them. With that being said, just a quick wrap up. We had 975 people sign up on Family ID for fall sports, and that includes close to 300 for physical. So we had approximately, I'd say, about 625 student athletes from grades 7 through 12 in the fall. Right now, for winter sports, we're up to 298 for our sign-ups through Family ID. Some highlights just real quick of our fall seasons. Obviously, I'm just going to go down through. We had some good seasons. Started with boys golf for section champions. Our two Tarowski brothers were both WPIL qualifiers. The team also made it to the semifinals in the team tournament. Girls golf, I had Lauren Barber, a WPIL qualifier. Our girls tennis, along with the boys soccer teams, both had great seasons, and young kids, and they're rebuilding. Girls soccer made the playoffs. Girls volleyball in the playoffs. Our other section champ, obviously, was our football team. We were in the semifinals for the 6th time in 8 years. Our JV team went undefeated, and we have not lost a JV football game in almost 5 years. And our 9th and middle school teams made it through as well. And last but not least, I'm going to bring up, our girls volleyball team, also another playoff team. So we had 3 section champions this past fall, and a WPIL champion, which it was their 5th championship in a row. This Saturday, we'll have a state playoff game that we will host here at Penn Trafford at 12 noon against Selinsgrove. It will also be live streamed. We're able to live stream the state game, so it will be live streamed. All the information is on our website. And once again, this was the 5th straight year that our field hockey team, and we'll have them here maybe next month if that's okay to honor them, but they still have some unfinished business here, hopefully on the weekend. And with all that said, once again, just at the end, I want to thank everybody. It's been a challenge this fall, but we have one heck of a team here at Penn Trafford, and it all starts in this room. And all the people that I went through, and like I said, finishing up with our great coaches, student athletes, and the parents in our district, I couldn't thank you all enough for helping us making it to where we are right now today. With that being said, it's now my pleasure to inform you that a little while back I was asked by Amy Schoeneman, the new executive director of the WPIL, if I had, remember going back, this all started, I think, March 13th. March 13th was the last day that we were together for athletics in the spring, and it all hit so quick. Going into last spring, we had a baseball team that was coming back that was defending. They made it to the championship the year prior, and then we also had a softball team that was the state champs. And I guess as of right now, we are still the reigning state champs in softball. Last spring became a challenge. Obviously. We were going day by day, week by week, and we never knew really what was going on. And while all that was going on, as I said, I was asked to nominate somebody, but one person, and it's always somebody that sort of takes things by the horns here, got very creative. And what I'm talking about is Coach Denny Little here. All of our coaches found creative ways to work with the kids every day, but this guy here, he is nonstop. He had constant practices on Zoom, virtual practices, if you want to say, and just the things that he's done and the creative things that he's come up with that have made him the coach he is. And as I said, we are the reigning state champions, but Coach Denny, he does it 12 months a year. If he's not here working out with the kids, he's down hitting with them in the cage. He's working out. He's doing things. The whole past spring, he worked with the girls and had teams outside of school when we weren't able to have a season. And for that, and for most, like I said, Denny was selected as the 2019-20 NFHS Pennsylvania Softball Coach of the Year. And we were awarded this on behalf of the PIAA Board of Directors, and I just wanted to bring Denny here and congratulate him and tell you all about the impact that he has on all of our student athletes, whether it's on the field or off the field. He's an amazing person, an amazing human being, and I'm glad to be friends with him, and I'm very fortunate to have him here as a coach at Penn Trafford, as we all are. So I want to welcome up Coach Little here to say a few words.
I don't have as good a memory as Carrie, so I just have to read. But thank you, Carrie, for the kind words. When I first heard that I received the award, I kind of chuckled to myself and thought, there's so many other deserving coaches out there that make great impacts that could have won that award. So, I thought about what set me apart. And I'd have to say that what set me apart was 2 words: Penn Trafford. All right. I had the greatest assistant coaches. Boomer Prady, Richie Ginther, Kendall Morasti, Mike Cleland, supported the whole way. The greatest administration, from Carrie on up, support the whole way. Especially from the championship year, our girls felt like they were, in Hollywood, with driving a beautiful bus out, getting taken care of with dinner. Everything was first class. So I have you guys to thank for that, all of you, for having such a great administration. I've worked for 3 different school districts, coached at 7 different high schools, in 28 years of coaching. And I can't think of a better school district to win this award for. Presidents, I know we just got through a pretty crazy campaign and election. One thing we have to remember is presidents are very temporary. They're 4 years or 8. But a teacher and a coach, they make an impact forever on all their students. And I couldn't make that impact without everybody here. So I'm very blessed to coach for Penn Trafford and make that impact on your student athletes. We are PT, and I couldn't be prouder. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Harris.
Great job, young man.
We love watching the kids.
What's that? Did you graduate from PT? I don't know if they ever gave me a diploma.
What year was that then you graduated?
That's the best year, 86.
Oh,
There's 2 86 grads in here, right?
3 maybe.
Three.
From Penn Trafford.
Colin, did you go to Penn Trafford?
2 Warriors.
Three of us.
two
are the only
Warriors and
ones
one
who were the
Centurion.
ones on-
1 centurion.
Carried them.
I'd like to say real quick, Denny, when we hired you, you promised us a very competitive program,
Recorder.
and you delivered. Thank you for that.
Like I said, great support, great players.
Oh, that was so much fun watching you all.
How many kids you have come back would have had come back this year?
Last year we had 27 back.
Wow.
This year we have 23.
Oh, God bless you.
Well, hopefully we'll see you in Penn State again.
Call the program, good job.
That's our goal.
Denny puts in he has a program that runs year round. You know, to run an effective program, you basically start in June, when it finishes in May. And you run your summer programs, you have those kids. He was beating our ear the other day because he wanted to get in the batting center. He's trying to get us to move that stuff that, you know, kudos to you. I mean, that's what coaches should be doing. I mean, you want those kids hitting and throwing and fielding all year round, and you're passionate about it, and it shows. So we appreciate everything you've done over the years.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You don't have to stick around, you can leave.
I think it's boring.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. All right, I wanted to talk, today we had the, first day of the high school, and then we're doing the hybrid program just at the 9th through 12th grade, and we had a little bit of a change. And then, Mr. Ingles, are you able to give us any updates or about the change in how it went today?
You know what, I haven't, you mean on the hybrid plan?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I talked to the principals, and they said it went very smooth. I think some of the kids don't like it because they're used to sleeping in, but I think they all agree that it's best for kids to have more structure in their life and wake up at a certain time and not stay up till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. But from the teacher standpoint and the technology, everything seemed to work pretty well. I talked to our technology coordinator, Mr. Caruso. He said the network seemed to be working fine. We had some good news about some of the glitches we had with Google Meets in terms of getting some headway with that. So there was some good news with that. But I thought it went very well. Principals and teachers, I think, made the best that they could today. So feedback has been good so far.
It's good to hear. And
Kids
we're gonna,
don't like it, we're doing something right.
Yeah, there's something to be said for that. The kids don't like it. Sometimes you're doing something right.
and we're gonna continue, working with the principals and the admin and the teachers just to, as the year goes on or, you know, the month goes on, with that program. And we're also gonna continue working with the principals and the teachers just to kind of see about, working with getting more time, because I know, for the, you know, some with the teachers, because we do have about 688 students on a daily basis who are online. They choose to do everything, and that's from K to 12. But then we also have, and I said this last week, we have a lot of students who, on a daily basis, either they have some symptoms, they don't feel, you know, about coming to school, they are concerned. I mean, we've been emphasizing that this year with all the symptom trackers to put out and everything, that if you have some symptoms or you're not feeling safe, you know, to stay home, go online. So we have a lot of students who are doing that. We have some students who have to do it because of quarantining reasons. So we do know that the impact that the online has on the daily planning and working with the teachers. So we are going to be working with the principals and teachers on different strategies and ideas. I did update Mrs. Popovich did update the COVID tracker, and I know Mrs. Kelly also works with the COVID tracker and putting it all together, which was great. We did have some, it seemed like the same thing happened last weekend. It seemed like on Saturday to Sunday is when we had the different calls, and we did have a staff member at Trafford Middle School, a staff member at McCullough, and a student at the high school, and I was updated on the tracker. Mr. Inglese, did I miss anyone on that? Because I know it's,
We had, the staff member at McCullough, the staff member at the high school, and we had a high school student. One of the high school students the good thing was a virtual learner, so it really didn't impact students at the school.
a couple of things with it we've had, and sometimes even with those Fridays off and the way the hybrid schedule worked, that has also helped with some of our close contacts and some of our different cases that has happened in the past. So, but that's daily, it's being monitored. So at any time you could look onto our website, it's right under there on the tracker. I wanted to give Mr. Petrucci a chance to talk about the career tech, and as a follow-up to last week too. 'Cause
Yeah,
I know,
Mr. Matarazzo, this is a very good question. Want to know from PT how many boys, how many girls are CTC? And I did homework, and I finally got it today, and sent a copy to Dr. Harris. Our enrollment is much bigger than 80. We have 64 boys and 34 girls. A total of 98 students from PT are now attending career tech. But I wanted to bring that out, and I wanted, because I didn't have that figure for you last week when I should have.
appreciate that. Thank
But I wanted to get back and tell you that. That's all I have, Madam
and the
President.
director, Mrs. Popovich, just sent me something that she cannot find us on the air. She just sent me a text. I don't know if, so I just sent Mr. Vinton, our video guy, to see are we being taped or not right now as we speak. So that's why I took that text. And according to Mr. Vinton, we are, so I'm not sure. But Mrs. Popovich just checked that she will still keep looking, so. I have to thank Mrs. Popovich, because honestly, I have to say her first phone call to me on Sunday, and it was a beautiful day yesterday. It might have came about 12:30, and the last phone call might have came about 8:30. So she worked all day on everything she had to do with different cases and incidents and the reporting. So we're very blessed to have her. We're also working with the SEIU, and we're going to continue working. Our next meeting is with them on Thursday at 10 o'clock, because right now we're still trying to prepare the last of the contract. That is all I have, Mrs. Issing.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Harris. At this point, we would normally have recognition of visitors, and we have no visitors. So we will move on. Old business.
There are no items, Madam President.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Kelly. An executive session was held today at 5:30 p.m. prior to this meeting to discuss personnel. We also had a special guest at our meeting today. The Cub Scout troop, I believe from St. Barbara's, came to interview the board on governance issues. Okay, now move on to the consent agenda. All right, does the board wish to remove any items from the consent agenda?
Madam President, I'd like to remove athletics and extracurricular, please.
Okay, all right, and that is
Number 6?
number 6. Okay, I got Mark, and we will also remove personnel, right?
Personnel's not in there.
Oh, there's no personnel. Okay.
I talked to
Okay.
Christina, I said, they would go as is.
All right, good. All right, so that being said, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items as submitted under one motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Nemec. Second. Second by Mr. Kachasik.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried. All right, now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Matarazzo for athletics and extracurricular.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to make a motion to approve the following winter athletic and extracurricular positions. Salaries will be determined in accordance with the negotiated agreement. New employment is contingent upon the receipt of all necessary documentation and the acceptance of the Acts 34, 151, 114 waivers from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania within 30 days. As we go through the list of the people we're hiring, I just want to comment that we're so fortunate. People that take these positions do it because, one, they love working with kids and love the sports that they're working with. They don't do it for the pay. They make more at Walmart, but they did an hourly rate. So we're very fortunate to have some really qualified, good people and a lot of teachers, which I think means a lot. So I'll read the list, and salaries are listed. Winter Color Guard Co-Instructor is Janelle Lochner. Winter Color Guard Co-Instructor, Carly Frank. Winter Percussion Instructor, Joshua Bujakowski, who's a long-term sub at the high school. Bowling Coach, Mr. Brett Lago, who's our business manager. Our swimming coach, Mr. David Babick, who also teaches at the high school. Swim Coach Assistant, Mark Martini, retired teacher at the high school. We go down to another Swim Coach Assistant, Kim Graziano. Head Wrestling Coach, Andrew Brensel. Co-Assistant Varsity Wrestling Coach, Larry Homan, teacher at Harrison Park. Co-Assistant Varsity Wrestling Coach, Travis McKillop. Wrestling Coach, Junior High, Nicholas Golden, one of our newest teachers at Penn Trafford High School. Co-Assistant Junior High Wrestling Coach, Chris Hartman. Co-Assistant Junior High Wrestling Coach, Jason Zimmer, also a teacher at the high school. Basketball, boys head coach, Doug Kelly, who is a counselor at Franklin, but we still love him. Right, Mrs. Kelly? Right. Anyway, going down, basketball, boys assistant, Andy Lenigro, teacher at Penn Trafford. Assistant boys assistant, Gary Ingalilia, I hope I said that right, Ingalito. Boys, again, another basketball boys head, junior high, Sam Guzik, who's a paraprofessional at the high school. Basketball boys assistant, junior high, Anthony Manisha. Basketball boys 7th grade, the green team, Matt Belinsky, teacher at Trafford Middle. Boys basketball again, 8th grade, green team, Nick Lynn, who's a teacher at Penn Trafford High School. Basketball girls head coach, John Giannikas, teacher at Trafford Middle. Basketball girls assistant, David Moyo, teacher at Penn Trafford High School. And basketball girls assistant, Olivia Rizzo. Those are our names and numbers.
Second. Question.
All right, question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
That's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Lane, Solicitor's Report.
Thank you, Madam President. We have prepared a summary of all legal matters that we have handled for the district, and I will submit that electronically to the board secretary of the district.
Thank you. All right, at this time, do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Petrucci, second by Dr. Costo. And the motion, this meeting is adjourned at 7:28. Thank you, everybody.